If you're in med school and you're trying to figure it out alone, trust me, I've been there. But there's one thing that changed my med school life, and that was mentorship. Not just also getting mentored, but also being a mentor. By the end of this video, you'll know why getting a mentor can save your sanity in medical school, and why actually being a mentor is probably one of the coolest things you can do, even though you still haven't figured out the rest of med school on yourself. And so moving abroad for med school does a lot of things for you. I had the questions, where should I go? What should I get? Which book do I need? Which lectures should I attend to? Or should I attend to lectures from one professor? Or should I attend lectures at all? And also, what about hobbies and other stuff? Those are the things that every single one of us has worried about. And if you don't, you are probably a psycho. So first, what is mentorship really? So mentorship, I thought, is some sort of a formal thing where either a professor or somebody else sits across the table and tells you what you need to do. Actually, that's not the point. Usually there's a student which is further beyond. It could be 1 year or a couple of years in front of you, who has done something and who knows how the world works, or at least medical school, and who takes 10, 20, 15 minutes, whatever, over a coffee break or just a call to help you figure out some questions and some problems. Well, my first mentor was actually also an older student who has gone through the process, and he was also a foreigner here, and he gave me a lot of tips. And the first time I actually went to med school, to this organization, there was a little bit of a party where I found ourselves, where everybody picked out a mentor for themselves. So a couple of days before med school actually started, before we had the whole introductions, we had a coffee or some sort of an introduction with a part of the university which was founded by students, and they were basically older students who were giving mentorship towards other students. So basically you can pick out your mentor there. You talk with a couple of them and you pick one out. The one that I got was a mentor who was also a foreigner, and he changed basically my life. So before that, I knew nothing. I was completely lost. I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do or what should I get. But he told me about what books do I need, lectures, or well, actually that I shouldn't attend some lectures at all. And a couple of weeks later, I met another person who told me something which I tell everybody now, and I think everybody else tells everybody from the younger ones. And that's that nobody actually remembers all of this stuff. You just actually need to learn it to pass the exam, and don't let it crush you. Sounds pretty simple, but it gives you a permission to breathe, because at the beginning you think you need to know everything, and you try to learn as much as possible, which is a little bit of a mistake I did. And that's why mentorship is good. It gives you a perspective about things that you didn't have or that you couldn't figure out on yourself soon enough. Fast forward a couple of years, or 2 years actually, I started being a mentor by myself and also started teaching other people. So first of all, you can be a mentor in that sense that you help people get on their way and actually start walking into medical school. But also you can be an academic mentor, where you actually teach some subjects. You can demonstrate some subjects. What an academic mentor does is you have a subject, let's take neurophysiology for an example, and then you have to teach the subject for the other students. And this is more student friendly, it's compact, and it does a couple of things for you. You learn the subjects more specifically. In order to teach, you really need to know the subject as accurate as possible, because you knew what the transmission of a signal is in the neurons. But in order to convey it as information, it is sometimes pretty hard. So you have to be able to make it understandable, easy, and just fun to interact. Second of all, you learn public speaking basically, and expression skills. There's a lot of things you learn from this, how much your attitude can change a lot of things. Basically also practicing how to answer Q&As and how to be under pressure and how to say, I don't know, because you get some questions which are really crazy, which you personally also didn't think of. And people learn the subjects for the first time and they try to go really in detail, and I think some things are important. So you kind of have to steer everybody to know what the important thing is and what the least important thing is. The third thing is you're being put on the spot. And being put on the spot is, like I said before, answering questions which you also don't know and saying, I don't know. And some questions you try to figure out them on yourself. And when you're being put on the spot is actually getting some questions which are absolutely crazy, because most of the students, or also me, when everybody learns, especially in mid school, the subject for the first time, we tend, or most people tend to learn the subject in depth. That being said, you learn some things and some things interest you, and you get some of the most wildest questions you can imagine. And I'm like, okay, that's crazy. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, if we're being honest. So you learn how to say I don't know, and by being put on the spot and saying I don't know is a really important thing. And that also through that you help them, and basically you guide them to know what's important and what's less important. Nevertheless, these things also make you think fast, think quick on your feet. You have to connect a lot of things together, and just a lot of these different things that you kind of get on the way. So let's summarize. If you're a mentee, reach out. I think you underestimate how many people there are who are really, really willing to help you have less struggles on your own in medical school, or just general university, and just want to help you get through it. Med school can sometimes really feel like a marathon, especially if you're running on your own, and that shouldn't be the case. Mentorship in any form reminds you that you're not alone and that you're going to be okay. And it also increases the learning curve. Also, an important thing, you have to be really appreciative of people who take the time and teach you something. And the more further you get, especially when you get into residency or when you're just doing the rotations, you see that the more appreciative you are, the more people actually give you. So if you put the effort and you appreciate it, a lot of the people, students or doctors, are going to be willing to put more effort into your study progression. Thank you very much for watching. If it helped, make sure to share it with somebody else. Maybe it will help them also too. My name is Dimitri, and I'll see you in the next one.